Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles. Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing. You pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer. It's never been easier to replace your kitchen appliances with the ultimate kitchen bundle at Big Sandy Superstore. That's the kitchen bundle. Choose your food. Choose your owner. Choose your needs. Need a French door fridge? Done. Wall opening cooktop? You got it. When you bundle, you save hundreds. Buy the refrigerator and range, get the dishwasher and microwave free at Big Sandy Superstore.
When was the last time you had a real meal? With hearty steak and big shrimp, cooked over roaring flame? Speaking of food, why are you so single? Have you eaten yet?
For Health Matters, at Home Place Clinic is your priority. HIV risks are real, and knowing your status is crucial. Take as a pill that can prevent the transmission of HIV. It's been a game changer in reducing risk. Call us for your appointment today.
Mountain Comprehensive Care Center's Home Place Clinic provides primary medical care in Eastern and Central Kentucky. To find your nearest Home Place Clinic, visit homeplaceclinic.org. Join the fight. Together we can end HIV.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles. Now get employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing. You pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
What could have been done to make sure everyone evacuated to safety? Getting 6 hours collapsing construction.
It's plainly obvious that there needs to be some additional oversight into the practice of some of these contractors. And it's not just this contractor. This is a very prevalent issue.
A worker at a construction fire in Houston barely escaped with his life. 2 firefighters were injured. A construction fire in Northern Virginia caused by smoking materials tossed in a trash chute. 2 workers died at a 5-1 fire. Charlotte is far from alone. Just join the list. According to the National Fire Protection Association, every year local fire departments respond to 4,300 construction fires. On average, construction fires cause more than $370 million in damages annually, result in more than 60 injuries, and are responsible for 5 deaths. Our reporting led us to 3 groups who have a role in preventing and preparing to respond to construction fires: construction companies, fire code councils, and government inspectors.
I think we can both blame it on the construction site, and I would say we'd be lucky if 1 out of 8. If you only have 1 person that's solely focused on fire safety, then it falls through the cracks.
They do not knowingly cut corners, but time is money, and making sure that you are running a process that is safe often isn't even understood.
Michael Zal is CEO of Yellowbird, an online marketplace connecting contractors with safety specialists to make sure construction sites are following codes. Everything from handling hazardous materials to following fire plans.
What's the differentiation between what we do and government?
Government inspectors have vast requirements, limited time, limited resources. What you don't want is to discover that you actually have an issue when somebody with a badge arrives on site.
Zal says many insurance companies that cover construction sites will also require compliance with codes and safety best practices.
They do have the requirement to have somebody with safety on site while your subcontractors are on location. The challenge is that they then don't have the resources. Things are either safe or they're not. And when they're not, often it comes about from realizing it because of an incident. Nobody wants to.
We lose these human lives to a situation that could have easily been averted.
Lucas Cervantes company Space Age Electronics specializes in making equipment that can save lives after a construction fire has started, such as flame detectors and warning sirens.
If a fire alarm system in an occupied building is required to contact first responders immediately upon detection of smoke, why wouldn't we do it for construction?
There's no shortage of options to prioritize and enhance construction site fire safety. I asked why construction sites like the one in South Park aren't always compliant.
Neither one thinks they're going to respond.
I emailed Mill Creek Residential a list of the issues identified by Rocky and Cervantes at the South Park site, and asked for their response. In an email, the company spokesperson wrote, quote, "We continue to cooperate with state and local authorities as they investigate the circumstances that led to this fire. We take matters relating to safety very seriously and are forever mindful of the grief caused by this tragic incident. We will also continue to implement best practices to help avoid situations like this in the future. Beyond that, we don't comment on matters that potentially may be the subject of litigation."
What needs to happen to that there's discipline of construction sites to make sure there's plans, to make sure there's training, to make sure that there are practice fires. Well, ultimately, you would want construction companies to police themselves. But if they don't, the regulators need to put them.
Please support the council every month. In June, the North Carolina Building Code Council adopted the 2021 International Fire Code that will supersede the 2015 Fire Code currently in effect. Joseph Cervantes told us the new code has some helpful updates.
We have in the 2021 edition of the Building Code and the Fire Code of Chapter 33 to demand that the city gets more involved.
This section on site safety plans requires building owners to create many of the documents and best practices experts say didn't exist at the South Park construction site. But in North Carolina, there is one significant difference. Instead of it being submitted and approved before a building permit is issued, it is prior to the start of construction.
Is there a difference, in your opinion, between having that submitted and approved prior to issuing a permit and prior to beginning of construction?
Good luck getting them to provide it prior to starting construction. The culture that we're seeing today, I don't think is sufficient enough, in my opinion.
A spokesperson for the Building Code Council wrote that they amended the code because the committee was concerned that the permit applicants would not be able to identify certain site-specific information at the time they submitted the permit application and prior to the permit being issued.
Provided the environment prior to the building permit should not slow down any of these developments whatsoever. But starting construction activity is not something that the local fire authority can go down, and that's the problem.
Right now, we're in the process of working with building standards to get emailed alerted when a business has permits and they have approved plans.
In July, Charlotte Fire Marshal Kevin Miller told me one of his key takeaways from the South Park fire was to have his department notified and involved sooner in the construction planning process. Our investigation revealed a Charlotte fire inspector visited the South Park construction site 7 days before the fire because of a request for a sprinkler system at the adjacent building. The issues identified by our experts were caught. Fire code expert Jeff Shapiro says that's not unusual given the volume of work faced by inspectors.
The big challenge we face in the fire service is we don't have enough resources to inspect everything all the time. There's other contractors waiting at other job sites, and it's just not feasible to be able to do a full building inspection every time you stop the site.
In an email sent to WBTV, a spokesperson for the Charlotte Fire Department wrote, quote, "Charlotte Fire will always support a proposal for new requirements, especially if it means a safer environment for workers and civilians to operate in. Life safety and property conservation is always the number one goal."
Everybody.
Sushi LNL, the only local news live streaming app.
What else matters? A home-based clinic is your problem. HIV risks are real, and knowing your status is crucial. Here is a pill that can prevent the transmission of HIV. It's been a game changer in reducing the risk. Call us for your appointment today.
Mountain Comprehensive Care Center's Home Place Clinic provides primary medical care in Eastern and Central Kentucky. To find your nearest Home Place Clinic, visit homeplaceclinic.org. Join the fight. Together we can end HIV.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. It's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles. Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing